Okay, here we have a problem that was submitted by a student, and especially since this is a mixture problem, I think it would be absolutely worthwhile for us to go over. So here we have this one. This is a person who mixes metals, has an alloy with 10% titanium and an alloy with 30% titanium. He needs 100 grams of an alloy that's 24% titanium, so that he's going to be mixing these two together to get 100 grams of a 24% solution, or not solution, but a metal. How much of each alloy should be mixed to obtain the 100 grams of alloy with 24% titanium? Okay, the first thing that we need to do here is we need to identify our variables. So I would say, since we're working with a 10% alloy and we're working with a 30% alloy, I'm going to let those be my variables. So I'm going to call this one A and this one B. Now by doing that, now we can set up our equations much nicer. So however much of this particular item that he mixes with however much of this particular item, we don't know those amounts, but we do know that they need 100 grams total. So the A plus the B, this would be the 10% alloy, however much we have of it, plus the 30% alloy, however much we have of that, has to be 100 grams. There's our first equation. Now we need to deal with percentages. That A alloy was a 10% alloy. So in order to represent not only the number of grams we have or the amount we have, but to represent the part that we're going to be mixing in, or the percentage part, we need to represent that by saying this is a 10% of however many grams we have. We're going to add that to a 30% alloy, however many grams of that we have, to end up with a 24% alloy, and we do know we want 100 grams of that. If you can get these two equations set up, that is the hardest part. And I really think this is easier to do using two equations and two unknowns rather than just trying to set up one equation. Once we have this, now it's just a matter of solving it. So I could take this first equation and solve it for A and say, well, A would equal 100 minus B if I move the B over to the other side. And then we can take that and we can substitute it in place of A in the second equation. So now our equation looks like 0.10, but instead of A, we'd say 100 minus B plus 0.30B equals 0.24 times 100. Now distributing this, 0.10 times 100 would be 10, minus 0.1b plus 0.3b, we don't have to put those zeros on the end, it's not necessary, equals 0.24 times 100 would be 24. Now we can collect like terms. Negative 0.1b plus 0.3b would be 0.2b. And if we subtract 10 from both sides to put our constants together, that would be a 14. So if I divide both sides now by 0.2, we get b equals 70. This tells us how much of that 30% alloy we need. Oh, it wasn't very pretty to say b equals 70. So that is our 30% alloy here, which is why I typed it in right here. Now if we know that together these two items are going to combine together to give us 100 grams, well, if we know we have 70 grams of this alloy, then I need to add 30 more grams in order to make that 100 total. So that tells us then that we have 30 grams of the 10% alloy. I hope this has helped. These are very confusing problems, but once you get the hang of it, you realize that it's really the same problem with just different numbers every single time.